Alright, YouTube, it's Flo here. So, yeah, back here with another Pokemon post commentary match analysis thing. So yeah, I think we're now in playoffs time. So I got first seed because I went undefeated in the regular season. I did go 8-0. I had the highest kill differential as well, and yeah, I got a first seed, which means I get a first round bye. I ended up playing this week against Kai. He is the person I played, I think, week 3. I don't know, you can go back and watch that video. But yeah, semifinals time, playoffs time, all that good stuff. So let's talk about the team first. So actually, no, let's talk about my opponent's draft first, since they do have a couple of new things compared to when I first played them. So, I mean, the biggest thing that sticks out here is going to be the Skarmory. That does a pretty good job at dealing with my Sneasler, who was a regular season MVP. It's gonna do an okay job at coming in on Mamoswine. I mean, Iso Crash is gonna hurt a little bit, but nothing it can't just roost off and then probably kill me with an Iron Head or something like that. So yeah, no more Donphan, no more what was it, Trapinch, no more Landorus Therian, or no, Tornadus Therian. I think that's probably the only difference. I don't remember if they had Lando T when at the time that I played them, but it doesn't matter because what they needed is answers to Mamoswine and Sneasler, and they obviously do have them this time around. So the other new thing is the Bear Tick. So they do have an angle where they can have their hail up and have the Slush Rush, and that can be a little bit annoying. So with that in mind, let's look at what I decided to bring. You can see on the screen here, obviously you see the Alomomola. At this point, it's been a staple for every round except for the first round. I don't know why I didn't bring it the first round. I guess I just didn't realize how great it would be. Unfortunately, I gave it 252 attack instead of defense because I think I was making several copies of the team and it just kind of went under the radar. The 252 attack can be, abused by the flip turn, but obviously that was not the intention. Big blunder on my part, and you'll see in the battle why that was the case. But yeah, Wish, Whirlpool, Alluring Voice, flip turn. Not a lot to see here. The Whirlpool instead of the Protect is interesting because I do want to try and trap things with the Alomomola and to hopefully bring in Mamoswine on something that is trappable, like maybe the Appleton, maybe the Heatran, things like that. Just force him to make a bad move or either a bad switch or just straight up sack whatever's in front of me. The Hatterene. So I didn't bring Hat the first time I played him. This time around, I thought it'd be really cool to set up Gravity and let my Mamoswine pop off. The Nuzzle is here for speed control in case of the Iron Valiant, if I'm in front of that, and I get a free para instead of just attacking it with Psyshock. I know. The rest of the moves just coverage. Mystical Fire mainly there for Heatran in case like it comes down to a Skarmory. In case it comes down to like Skarmory and Hatterene 1-on-1, because I do imagine I can switch into Skarm. I can switch in on its Stealth Rocks or Spikes, so I'll need something to hit it. The defensive EV spread here, I think mostly I'm thinking like Landorus is going to be a little bit of a problem, and maybe physically offensive Iron Valiant, and I guess also the Bear Tick. Damn, he's got a lot of physical threats this time around. So that's why I have this this spread. I think I don't die to like 2 Earthquakes with this set, and I can get the Gravity off and then do my game plan from there. But yeah, Citrus Berry just to help me live a little bit more. But yeah, not too much to talk about outside of the Gravity. So that is kind of the angle I'm going for. Just try and set up Gravity and have Mamoswine pop off if Sticky Webs are already up. Because Gravity also makes Icicle Crash basically, I guess it is 100% accurate at that point. I think any move about 60% accuracy becomes 100% under Gravity. So that is very much appreciated. Decided to bring Scizor here instead of Sneasler as my main, Volt Switch, Flip Turn abuser. Because I think Sneasler just does a better job than Sneasler, especially with the Skarmory, being present. I can't click a poison move if Skarmory is still on the field. Like U-turn from Sneasler isn't doing as nearly as much damage as it would from Scizor. The speed, I believe I have 222 speed is what I reach, and I think this allows me to outspeed a fully defensive Heatran, because I think it hits 221 if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I played this game or this battle, so don't really quite remember my thought process in the EV spreads, but I think that's what it was. Yeah, just to outspeed Heatran and knock out with close combat. Next is Rotom Frost. If they wanted to bring Hail, I would be able to abuse the Hail by getting 100% Blizzards, 100% accurate Blizzards. I mean, Blizzard under Gravity, also, 100% accurate. Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, and Will-O-Wisp. This fourth slot, it was debating between Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split. I really didn't know what I wanted to bring, but I decided to bring Citrus Berry with Will-O-Wisp. Maybe, if I have Beartic in front of me and I'm still not Terrid, I can obviously take any one thing, especially with my investment, and then Will-O-Wisp it if it gets a little bit out of hand, if I don't have my Scizor to revenge kill it. Obviously Scizor's a pretty good bring despite the Skarmory being around, because it helps me check the Iron Valiant and the Beartic and the Alolan Ninetales, and also Mew, I guess. Outside of Skarm, I guess Scizor does a really, really good job against the rest of their team. Rabombi, Sticky Webs, Bug Buzz, Moonblast, Psychic. This fourth move was highly debatable in my eyes, but I decided with Psychic because I did imagine a scenario where I'd be in front of Tentacruel and I'd have to, I need something to click if I'm just going to sack it to Tentacruel, and this lets me get some pressure off on it because Tentacruel can't recover anything without leftovers or Liquid Ooze, so getting big damage on that is really nice, and maybe even fish for special defense drops and put them in a bad spot. But nothing out of the ordinary here. And then lastly, Mamoswine, the star of the show, decided to bring Never Melt Ice instead of Choice Band because Choice Band puts me in a rough spot where if they make the correct play, I now have to switch out, and I don't want to lose momentum if that's the case. And Never Melt Ice is really nice because it's going to allow me to get as much damage with Ice Crash as possible while still being able to pivot against the Skarmory if that ends up coming into play. And as you'll see in the battle, like that does kind of happen. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into this battle. So this is what they... Oh, let me switch perspectives. So this is what they end up bringing. I am surprised to see no Hail. It's a little unfortunate because I think I'd prep pretty good for the Hail. No Iron Valiant, which is interesting too because I feel like Iron Valiant is such a good Pokemon that you bring it almost every time. I know I do have things to deal with it, but if they play the game where they get the momentum up, Iron Valiant can just do a lot of damage. So yeah, I think here I just lead off with Rotom and take it from there. If they do want to lead off Landorus, I can use Blizzard and try and score out an early KO, and I can just Volt Switch on the rest of his team. So let's just play it here. That is a little loud. Yeah, so they end up leading off with their Appleton. They're going to Terra right away, and they're going to go Terra Poison, and I'm just going to Volt Switch. It was either that or Will-O-Wisp, but I don't want to stay in and get Leech Seeded. I want to have as much health to one of my defensive Pokemon as possible. So I'm just going to Volt Switch out into... I forget what I switch out into. But I think I switch out into Scizor. Yeah, Scizor because I didn't expect the first turn Terra, and Scizor forces them to either switch out because U-turn hurts a lot or to Terra. So meanwhile, they go for Apple Acid, drop my special defense. Not a big problem because I'm just going to U-turn out of here. They obviously can stay in or switch. This isn't really a good spot for me, so I think the U-turn is pretty obvious here. And they end up going to Landorus because I guess they want as much I guess they want to get their game plan going because looking at the damage, I think it's a little bit more offensively oriented. So I'm gonna go into Alamomola just to basically, I think Aloe threatens it out pretty good because they don't kill me with 2 earthquakes or with 1. Actually, I don't know the calc. I mean, if they are choice banded, I think I only take the 1, but the flip turn is fairly obvious here, and I get a lot of damage on this, and also I'll end up getting momentum because if they stay in and I flip turn, Mamoswine comes in and threatens with Ice Shard, and I get to start my game plan. So instead of flip turning, because I thought that was obvious, I go for the Whirlpool because I want to see if I can trap either the Appletun or the Skarmory. If I can trap the Skarmory, like Rotom is such a free switch in. If I can trap the Tentacruel, I mean obviously they can rapid spin that away, but Mammal comes in as well, and basically get to click 1 button for free, maybe knock off in that case. But as you can see, this Earthquake did 81% because I had no defense EVs, so this is a little bit scary, and I'm immediately on the back foot while I just Whirlpool here for pitiful damage. I mean, with the chip, I guess it's okay, but it would have been really funny to see how much damage Flip Turn would have done in this turn if I did click it, since I did have 252 attack. But that's not what ended up happening, so oh well. I'm going to have to be forced to switch here. And I'm going to have to go into Rotom to, dodge the Earthquake. And that's basically what ends up happening here. Here, I think I decide to Volt Switch, or no, Blizzard, and Terra Ghost because I'm afraid of the Stone Edge. Meanwhile, they make a pretty good switch into their Appletun. I mean, the Blizzard ends up missing, but it doesn't matter because this thing has the Thick Fat. So it would have done like almost no damage since this isn't an offensive Rotom. So not too bummed about that. So here I do decide to Will-O-Wisp. If you want to go back into Landorus on a predicted Volt Switch, maybe Mew or maybe even Tentacruel, I don't know. But Will-O-Wisp seemed like the correct play here for me. And that way, I don't give them... I think also because if they Leech Seed, I can Volt Switch away, and I get to negate their leftovers recovery. So not terrible. A little bit of a slow start, mainly because I'm on the back foot, and I'm gonna hard switch here instead of Volt Switching because I don't know. I think maybe they wanted to switch into their Landorus or something, and that's why I brought in Hat. I don't. It's been a while. I don't remember why I made the hard switch instead of the Volt Switch play. Maybe I was thinking they had Protect, maybe, potentially. Meanwhile, they go for Dragon Tail because they know I'm going to switch, so they get extra little bit of damage and then possibly put me in not a great spot, but I do make the switch into Hatterene. Not predicting that. Obviously, that doesn't affect me because I'm Fairy type, but it ends up working out. And here I threaten with Psyshock. I don't know why I decided to reveal the Gravity this turn. I think I was a little bit too excited to click it. Like, obviously I knew it was going to switch, so there was no reason for me not to just click Psyshock. Sure, maybe Skarmory could have... Maybe that's why. Maybe I expected them to bring in Skarm on the Psychic move, which it obviously resists, but they go into Tentacruel, which would have taken a lot of damage from it too. You can see here, I stay in this time and just go for the Psyshock. So it kind of sucks that I showed my hand a little bit too early, and kind of sucks that I didn't EV this to always kill Tentacruel, but it's okay. Not too big of a deal. Now he does a hard switch into Heatran. Meanwhile, I also hard switch into Ribombee. I don't know what I was predicting exactly. Like, if I was predicting the Heatran, I could have just gone into Mamoswine right away. I think maybe... I don't know. It's hard to say at this point why I went into Ribombee instead of Mamoswine here if I was predicting a switch. But whatever, we'll let it play out. I think I do Sticky Webs here because I do have Sash, and I know that they're going to go... If they go for Stealth Rocks, my Sash is going to be broken. If they go for the Fire move, then I get to make good use of having the Focus Sash. So I decided that this is as good a turn as any to go for the Sticky Webs. So we just trade hazards here. Then I go into Alamomola to get some recovery with my Regenerator and tank whatever he wants to go for, which was the Flamethrower in this case. And I think here have no reason to not click the flip turn because I am really low. I want to keep getting recovery. Yeah. Meanwhile, he goes into Tentacruel, and I end up scoring a KO. Thanks. I'm pretty sure that's thanks to the attack investment that I had. But I think personally, I would have liked to keep this alive because now I have to, show him what my switch is, and I would like to have kept this alive for maybe Rotom, so I can have the choice to either Volt Switch or Thunderbolt, and then I don't know. I just didn't want to give him switch priority on this turn specifically. So I go into Hat because I think I want to try and set up Gravity again because I want to make some more headway in this game. Meanwhile, he goes into Landorus. I think that's definitely more offensive. Obviously, I think I was expecting him to do a little more damage so I can get a Gravity and get the most turns out of Gravity as possible with Mamoswine. But meanwhile, he goes into Heatran, and on the turn after Gravity, he ends up going for Earth Power. I think expecting my Alomomola to switch, but I really just wanted this to die. If he properly predicted, I guess, the Earth Power not to kill and waste a turn of Gravity, great play by him. But I think mostly he was thinking Alomomola was coming in on the potential Flamethrower. But I really wish he had killed me that turn so I can get the extra turn of Gravity. I was fully complacent with letting Hat die this turn, or on this play, because Gravity obviously makes it so that he really can't switch anything in. Sure, Skarmory gets one Earthquake switch and one Roost, because obviously it's not going to kill with how defensive it is in one hit, and it gets sturdy, so it's never dying to one Earthquake. So yeah, now that this is dead, time to bring out Mamoswine and just click Earthquake mindlessly. He goes into Landorus because, I think it was his sack here was between either Landorus or Mew. Maybe even Heatran. I don't know why he's keeping Heatran around now that I think about it. It's good to stop my Rabombi, but my Rabombi is not meant to run through his team. So I think maybe you sack the Heatran here or Mew, but obviously I don't know the Mew set. Maybe he thought his Mew could do a little more work. But yeah, here obviously or maybe because he was trying to see if I wasn't oblivious, so he can get the Intimidate off and just manage the Mamoswine a little bit better. But I do obviously have the Oblivious, and now he goes into Skarmory because he knows he can take one Roost off, and then Gravity is gone for the rest of the game. So that's pretty much what we end up doing here. Meanwhile, he goes for the Iron Defense instead of Roost, so not a bad play, because I think if he Roosted here, my Icicle Crashes probably would have 2-hit KO'd if I got a flinch, and he didn't get this Iron Defense off. So I see the Iron Defense, I see the leftovers. I'm thinking that I'm going to go for Icicle Crash here because I want to see if I want to chance the 2-hit KO if I get a flinch here. And if he gets Roost, then that's fine. I'll just, switch out or something. So you see no flinch, and not that it would have mattered because that doesn't 2-hit KO anyway. So just wasting a couple turns here. But it was good for me to, chance it out. I think on this turn, I'm thinking that he's going to Roost again, just to make sure his Skarmory is as healthy as possible. So I'm going to go for Knockoff instead of switching it here. A little bit of a risky play on my part because he could have Iron Headed or Body Press and killed or done a lot of damage to my Mamoswine, which I kind of still need because it's, I guess I don't need it, but it's really nice into the Terra Poison, Appleton, and just Heatran. I do have other answers for that, so losing Mamoswine here wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world, but I definitely should have kept it around. So he shows Spikes here, and then I decided to switch on the next turn, and then he shows the Body Press. So now with this, I know his full set, and I know that Terra Ghost Rotom completely walls him and kills him. So at this point in the game, I'm thinking, okay, I think if I just play well enough, I keep Rotom around, I don't lose this game at all. So that's pretty much my goal at this point. And then you're going to see this body press do a lot of damage because, again, I have no defensive investment. So this sucks. He hard switches on my hard switch. I don't know what he was predicting. Maybe if he was predicting the Rotom, that was a pretty good play, because Rotom really doesn't do too much to touch this. So I'm gonna be forced to Volt Switch here for free, because thankfully I killed Landorus. So not a hard decision for me to make here. I think I go into Ribombee because I think it's my most expendable Pokemon at this point. Looking at what he has left, like sure, I can get super effective Psychics off on the Appletun, but I don't think they 2-hit KO. Heatran is still there. Skarmory, I hate these nicknames. They keep messing me up. Skarmory is still here. I mean, sure, Ribombee would be nice into Mew, but I do have Scizor still. So not... Yeah, I think luckily I switch into another Dragon Tail, so his set just didn't get to shine, unfortunately. Especially now that he has Spikes and Rocks. It would have been nice if he, if that connected and he made me take more damage. So I think here, since, there's no reason for me not to stay, because Psychics, maybe I can get a crit, maybe I can get a special defense drop. The super effective Psychics are going to be doing a good amount of damage. He's going to miss Leech Seed here. Was a little annoying, obviously, for him. He's going to make it so that he doesn't get as much recover. He's going to force him to recover here. Waste turns, potentially, expose himself to getting critted or having a special defense drop, but neither of that happens. Not a big deal. A little bit of a bummer for me, but like I said, not a big deal. He finally switches into Heatran. I guess he just wanted to have as much health as possible, and he didn't want a chance getting critted. So good play. I'm going into Heatran finally. I don't remember if I guess I go straight into Alomomola here. On the Earth Power. This does way too much damage. I mean, not that I did too much damage, but because I don't have enough health because I played, or because of my set was not great. I'm in a rough spot. So on this Earth Power, I think I go straight into Rotom Frost. I mean, I did Terra Ghost, and I have Citrus Berry, so I'm not afraid of him predicting that and going for Flamethrower. Like, he ends up going for Taunt, I guess, predicting me to Wish. But I think if he had just gone for Earth Power, he would have 2-hit KO'd the Alomomola. But maybe he was, thinking that it was a roll or something. But I don't think that was a bad play at all. To go for the Taunt there. He loses nothing, honestly. I'm going for Taunt here. I'm going to Volt Switch out of here because my Rotom can't really touch the Heatran right now, and I want to still keep this healthy because it is my one answer to the Skarmory. If I lose Rotom, I think I lose the game. So I am going to have to switch out. Now I finally have decent amount of health on this Alomomola. I can finally switch out. He goes for the Flamethrower. Doesn't do enough damage to 2-hit KO with Earth Power, so the flip turn here is fairly obvious, and it's looking pretty good for me finally. Now, get a free switch into Mamoswine because of the flip turn, and this has to, if he stays and takes the Earthquake and dies, that's fine, but I'm pretty sure he's going to go into Skarmory, so I do go for the Icicle Crash, and then thanks to the Never Maltize, this is basically a 2-hit KO at the health range that he's at. So this is where the Never Maltize really came in handy, because I think if I had a different item that wasn't boosting Eyesight moves, I wouldn't be in such a great spot here. You can see that did just 36%, so 2-hit KO, looking really rough. He's gonna have to switch, and I really think he should have switched into Mew, but I think he goes into Heatran. I mean, it's not a bad play, but his Heatran can't outspeed and then kill me because he is a more defensive set, so I'm able to score a free KO. I really think he should have switched into Mew, and he finally does on this turn. I'm a little afraid of what the Mew could potentially be, so I think I switch into Alomomola. Yeah. So he ends up going for Roar, and he unfortunately switches me out into Ribombee. I mean, I think it's more unfortunate for him because, this is a good matchup, but he does get the passive damage, which isn't bad, but I don't know. It's just hard because, I don't mind getting my Alomomola forced out because that just gives me more health in the long run. And I don't know, I think a little fortunate, but I guess if I'm thinking about it here, nothing on my team minds getting forced out in front of Mew. Maybe the Mamoswine or the Scizor, because this could be potentially anything. If I were him, I would maybe run a fire type move to try and kill Scizor. Maybe there's a play there, but yeah, let's just keep this playing. There's no reason for me to not Bug Buzz here. Maybe I think since I know the Scarlet reset, I'm not super afraid of this coming in on my Bug Buzz and then getting a free boost off, because as long as Rotom's alive, Skarmory doesn't get to do much, and he just doesn't have enough resources anymore at this point in the game to switch out. So he decides to stay in. Bug Buzz isn't gonna one shot it, and he ends up showing Substitute. And oh my god, he forgot that sound based moves go through Substitute now. So a little bit of a blunder on his part. So I don't get to see his full set. Not a big deal, but it's looking kind of rough. The game is fairly in my grasp and in my control. I'm just gonna Psychic this. Like, there's no reason for me to predict here. Oh, okay. So yeah, he couldn't even switch into the into my Rabombi without the Leech Seed, because this would have been a 2-hit KO with Psychic. Interesting. Yeah, I decided to just sack my Rabombi here because I guess I could have switched into Rotom because I knew the set, but I think I just wanted to play it safe. But Rotom pretty much wins the game here, as you're gonna see. Like, I can just click Thunderbolt and win the game. But overall, I think this is a pretty good game, especially for a playoff Smash semifinal. So I get to go through to the finals here. Yeah, really good game, really fun back and forth. I think the Alomomola taking so much damage at the start of the game kind of put me on the back foot, made it a little bit more interesting, but I'm pretty overall happy with how both of us played. Yeah, not much to say here anymore. So yeah, stay tuned for the finals, which I will upload soon. Thanks for watching.